This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the microphones, it's Jack. It's Kenny. It's the Rock and Roll Up Podcast.
Hello, mates, and welcome to Rock and Roll Up with Jack and Kenny. And who's that cheeky chappy?
Hello. My name's Rex.
Rex? Great to meet you, Rex.
God. There we are. There he is.
There he is, with a guest host today. Look at that. He looks cozy. Where did you procure Rex from?
I don't even know. He's an official. We're sponsored by Jurassic World now. Just so you know. A movie.
Other Jurassic Worlds are available.
Other poor reboots of 90s films are available.
Yep.
Actually, they genuinely are.
They genuinely are. He looks quite cozy. He looks quite soft.
He's quite nice. Yeah, it's quite. I don't know where I got him actually. Don't know, but I love dinosaurs, so probably was that.
What can I say? We're just.
You know what? He might have been out of the claw. He might have been out of a claw.
You mean to tell me you've won a toy from one of those dodgy claw machines?
Well, actually, my sister-in-law, for some reason, is a genius at getting in no other sphere other than the claw machine.
Hopefully she doesn't listen to this. It does take, maybe there's a certain science to doing. I don't know. Because I always thought they're not designed to actually grab things, are they? They're really weak. You know?
I'd never seen anyone win anything out of them apart from when she won like 3 things one day.
You know, like when you get a weak handshake and you go, oh. That is, the claws like that. It's like, oh, it's coming in. Oh, what's that?
Yeah, it looks strong. It's made of metal. Here we go. Oh, it's gone into brown smoke.
It's a bit wet. Why is that? I won a toy once from one of those machines. What are those machines called, by the way?
Don't know. Grabbers.
Grabbers. People know what we're talking about. They're kind of the fairground, seaside kind of pop your money in, the claw grabs the soft toy or grabs some sweets or something. I when I used to work in Butlins back in today, I spent probably too much money in the little arcade area.
Yeah.
And I was after one of those toys, popping the money in, do. What have I got? There's a toy. Oh my goodness, he's dropped it in. I've got it. It's a SpongeBob SquarePants, but it's an oval shape.
What?
Yeah, he's round. So he's
amazing.
SpongeBob circle pants. I don't know.
Someone's just trimmed off the edge.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's like unlicensed or something. But other than that, it looks, it's SpongeBob, but it's perfectly round.
Wow.
So
you get those ones that they have like, oh, it's a teddy, but it's holding a Nintendo DS. They're never got by anyone.
They're never got. Just the box, isn't it? You just win the box.
Just win the box.
Yeah.
Here's a box. You can pretend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, to be honest, that's probably going to be this Christmas. Oh, box. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Another day on Earth. Thank you.
Nobody has any money. Oh, Merry Christmas.
No one's got any jobs. Great.
Oh, look, darling, we've got the Christmas twig. Put a bauble on it.
Put the little bauble. Yeah.
Anyway, we're here, and actually, we've done all this before, haven't we? Because last week, what happened? What happened last week?
Well, it's a tumultuous time for the world.
It is difficult.
And top of that list is they didn't have the Rock and Roll Up podcast last week, did they?
Well, we wanted to provide mirth to the nation and indeed to the world. But the file corrupted and we lost at least 2 hours of material.
We did.
It was always going to happen. It's our first ever episode lost since the beginning of time.
It's the first content that we've lost. We had an event booked that was cancelled. That was a shame. But this is the first actual content that we've lost. And made me feel quite sick.
Yeah, disappointed. I scrabbled. I was 4 or 5 different file retrieval software programs I had open all night. I possibly located the file, but I had to pay £80 to see if it was indeed the right file to begin with. And I thought, considering we haven't made £80 in ad revenue, probably best not to spend that.
Probably.
So we're doing a little bit of what we did that day here with some gaming news that was promised 2 weeks ago. But other than that, it's all new, baby. It's all new. Come on. And I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to kick it off with an intimate question. You know, we like to pose a question at the beginning of some of the shows.
Yeah.
What shower/bath products are you currently using, sir?
Why?
Let's get to the heart. Let's get to the heart of your routine when you're naked.
What? Well,
It's what the people want. It's what the people want.
I'll just take that off. Wop that off.
Yeah.
Wet wipe.
A wet whitewash. Perfect for the uni days.
Ready for the day.
I don't have time to have a full shower.
I'm using, and we both, I think, suffer from dandruff.
A little bit of dry hair, a little bit of dry scalp sometimes.
Yeah. Anyone who hasn't noticed, Jack has quite magnificent modish hair currently.
Thicky hair, baby. THICC.
You look like bloody Paul Weller.
Oh, down at the tube station, going on the train. I am a train. The train represents Thatcher. That's one of my songs.
One of the deep cuts. Deep.
One of my demos. Didn't quite get where I wanted
Going down to the chip shop. I'm gonna eat my sausage. It represents oppression.
Good. The sausages do. We love you, Linda McCartney. Love what you do.
We love you.
Sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. I would just, even if they gave us £1, I would wear Linda McCartney merchandise. I've got it all already.
Yeah, exactly. Big old poster of Linda, baby.
How was I talking about your hair and then got to Linda? Everything leads to Linda.
Well, what can I say? It's a full circle. Linda's everywhere. She's like God in a way.
In a way, she's with God.
Oh, we get dry hair. You're using a special shampoo, is that right?
Yes, I use Head and Shoulders special formula because the normal stuff just doesn't cut it with my horrific scalp.
Okay. You're sort of putting Agent Orange on your hair. It
smells like it's chemicals, and it is. And I got it in my eye last week, and it was the most pain I'd ever felt. I thought
in your life
to die.
And this is coming from someone who's fallen down a waterfall. If people remember some of the first episodes, so.
Indeed.
But then, did you have dandruff in your eye the next day? I don't think so.
There was nothing coming out. It was dry as you like.
Well, tears, just a solid tear.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds painful.
It's like a thick, dark orange, this stuff.
Your eye?
You put it on. My eye, yeah. You put it on and it's very good. And then I go for a classic shower gel with a loofah. And I just loof.
With a show me how you do that. Okay, let's just gift that now. If anyone could gift that for me, that would be great. Oh, the double.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I've got maybe 2 loofahs would be good. Imagine this.
Are we just doing an Alan Partridge bit here? I think we are.
I'm all over.
Is that a Luther Vandross you've got there? One of your great pitches for a product on the show. A loofah in the shape of Luther Vandross, which I later found out just is a product that already exists.
Oh yes, yeah, you had that for a monkey tennis, right? A pun association.
Pun association.
And when we googled it,
it wasn't even themed, but you just came up with it, and you were so proud of it, and then it had already been done. Everything's already been done. Let's face it. Yeah. This podcast, it was literally done last week. We lost it. What to say? So you're using a loofah, are you? So you're not. I mean, some people they're using a flannel. I've never been a fan of the flannel.
Do you know what? When I get up in the morning, I like a hot flannel scrub.
Well, see, that's nice. Or just
if I'm not showering.
Okay.
And then just
if you're hot, maybe a cold little cold flan on there.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's really all I use.
What's the difference between a loofah and a body puff? Is that the same thing? We're asking the big questions this week.
Question of our age.
Yeah.
It's the biggest question facing the world currently is. I don't know. A body puff, is that just another way of saying a loofah? But then a loofah you use that on a toilet as well, don't you?
Do you?
Like, what's the name of the thing, the brush that has the little thing that you scrape the shit off? That's a loofah, isn't it? That's a loofah as well.
Yeah. Well, I use the toilet brush when I shower. So, yeah, I guess a toilet. Well, I just wanted to call it a toilet brush.
Yeah, but I think it's a loofah too.
A loofah too. Loofah toofer. Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah. Queen La loofah. Queen La loofah.
Answers on a postcard. What's the difference between a body puff? Answers and answers. What's the difference between a body puff and a loofah, Van Dross?
Yeah.
What about sponge? A sponge to me is sort of old, 40s.
Not a sponge.
A bit of soap and a sponge.
No.
Too absorbent, and it's too porous, isn't it? You're like, dirty.
What about you? What are you using?
I'm using an Oilatum sensitive scalp shampoo. Comes in a tiny bottle, so you buy like 2 at a time. Quite expensive, but
mine is
very similar to you. Good for the old sensitive scalp. 1 or 2 washes. I'm clean as a button. Clean as a button mushroom.
Yeah,
probably is.
A button mushroom. Worst thing about mine is if you run out and then you have to go back to it. The first wash, it's almost like
it's worse.
They want you to know.
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
Why the hell didn't you plan for this? So the first one washed. Oh, that'll sort me dandruff out. Next day, it's bloody Snowdonia.
The thing is with sensitive scalp shampoo is it gets very jealous of other products. It gets very jealous. It will let you know. It will let you know.
Yeah, I've had to use a standard Head and Shoulders, and the special formula one goes, whoa, fuck you.
I like the fuck you. I like the consistency of a Head and Shoulders and the sort of the minty green colour of a Head and Shoulders.
Mm.
The smell, I wasn't always keen on the smell.
No.
Oilatum was quite a fruity kind of smell.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, the reason we're doing 10 minutes on this is because I use a lovely shower gel like yourself.
Right.
Quite a big fan of Imperial Leather because I've got quite sensitive skin.
I like Imperial Leather.
I like Imperial Leather. I like the name because they sound like they supply an army. You know what I mean? Nothing works for the Oilatum and Imperial Leather. It sounds really official. I like to feel like royalty when I shower. Yeah. Anyway, the reason I asked this because I took a deeper look at the name of my current shower gel, which I think we'll all appreciate. Other shower gel is available. Although Imperial Leather sponsored me. Ooh, mama. Little blue one. Arctic Ocean. And Icelandic moss. Icelandic moss.
Can't be any other moss.
No. Icelandic moss smell like Bjork's vagina. It was Icelandic moss, and I thought it just got me thinking in the shower. You know, that is the kind of thing Bjork would want. You know, maybe she sends her staff out. You know, Miss Bjork, we only found Greenland moss. Good enough. I wanted Icelandic moss.
What are you doing?
You're doing. It's all in the name. And I judged the shower gel by its name and by its colour. It was a powerful blue. I thought, that's the one. Deeper look. It provides you a little story. The moss is from Iceland. So, you know, let's hope it doesn't mean Iceland, the supermarket. That's not quite as good.
Yeah, moss at the back of their baking aisle or something.
Yeah. So Icelandic moss is what I'm currently got going on.
Yeah.
When I'm giving it the full head to toe.
The full one of them. Yeah, I always think it's funny on food products when, like the yogurt that I had this morning was wild cherry.
Wild.
Oh, you can really taste the wild in this.
It feels like something else has eaten a bit of this before me. That's how you know it's wild.
I don't want that. I don't want that domesticated cherry. I want that wild cherry.
Wild cherry, baby.
Wild
cherry. Wild. Was Wild Cherry a band? No. Am I thinking of Black Cherry?
Black.
Black coat. Black.
Just stop saying black.
Stop saying that. Icelandic moss. That's what I'm smelling of this week. So we've learned a little bit more about Kenny and Jack, the hosts of Rock and Roll Up Podcast, giving you little nuggets. And coincidentally, you ate a little bit of nougat before the show. So
Yeah, I've got the. We're just there. We are.
There we are. It looks like just a bright white packet there, but a little bit of nougat. What is nougat? People don't know what nougat is.
It's a foamy, delicious, sweet treat.
Look at that. Oh, that's almost hypnotic, that.
It's done by Barrett.
Barrett.
And it's bright pink and bright white. However, no artificial colours or flavours. So I'm not sure how they've achieved that.
How have they done that? They've mashed up a bit of Mr. Blobby, popped him in there.
It's a raspberry and vanilla flavoured nougat with peanuts. And its main ingredient is just glucose syrup, but then also sugar.
Oh yeah, when you haven't had enough sugar, a little bit more on top of
You
that.
haven't had enough glucose syrup, just have more sugar.
That's
And
like
then-
when you have whipped cream on top of ice cream. Pointless. Absolutely pointless.
It's not the most, nutritious that, but and it will ruin your teeth as well. But if you want more information, just go to barrettsweets.co.uk, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. Alternatively, you could send a letter to Tangerine Confectionery Limited, Customer Services, PO Box 255, Pontefract, WF89BT. So just some interesting information.
Thank you for the information. That is libelous. We're not saying that eating Barrett's nougat will rot your teeth. If anything, I'm happy to wear your products if you do have products. I'll even wash with a bar of nougat. I'd imagine that's good for getting in the crevices.
Yeah. Well, it gets into your teeth crevices and rots them out.
He's doubled down.
Yeah, I've decided to go the libelous route for this.
Yeah, the libelous route, Kenny Beveridge.
But yeah, I look forward to you tagging Bassett's Instagram page on our.
I hope so. If this makes it to the teaser for this week's episode, then rest assured they'll be tagged, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Any more weird stuff that we hadn't planned that we would like to do before we continue?
I think we'll move on to something we have planned.
Okay.
The reintroduction of fan favourite feature. Fan favourite feature.
Fan favourite feature.
Triple F. That'll be good for the audio. Monkey tennis.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stop you because we've reached the visual age of the Rock and Roll Up podcast, and something's missing, and I bloody want to bring it back. So,
is it Rex the dinosaur?
Rex, what do you want?
La, la, la.
He wants the bloody jingle. Hit that jingle!
Monkey tennis.
And we're back from the jingle.
Look at that.
That was, you know what? I miss our jingles.
That's how this podcast should work.
Yes, it is. What are you saying? We've been too lazy to cut up the audio and put the jingles in?
Exactly what I'm saying.
But also, to be fair to all these naysayers, we've had a good few video podcasts here talking about coronavirus, what we've been up to. There's been no time for jingles. We've been deep diving into what we've been up to. But as we're nearing perhaps the end-ish of this COVID-19 drama, at least here in the UK, with things slightly opening up from July, the jingles, rather like the shops, they're creeping back in. The new normal, the new jingles, they're not quite the same as
the new normal.
They're a little sadder, truth be told.
A little bit sadder, yeah. Yeah.
Monkey tennis.
I can't wait to bring back the jingles, but I can't wait to do monkey tennis. It's going to be a good one this week, I think.
What is monkey tennis, Kenny Beveridge?
Monkey tennis is a joke from an Alan Partridge episode, and it incorporates us pitching film, TV ideas, any ideas of anything that could happen that is a bit silly. He says, he walks around with a dictaphone and says, idea for a TV show, monkey tennis. And this entire feature, which is run for over, 15 episodes, just comes from that. Because, we love flogging.
So we we wear our influences right on our sleeves. If we
right
had,
here, maybe. It's literally on my sleeve, quite like Star Wars.
nice, look at that. You like Star Wars?
Um,
Dictaphone sounds like a weird sort of fetish.
mm.
Dictaphone. Thank you. I'm available for jokes. I'll come and do your parties if you're having parties. Make sure they're socially distanced.
Make sure they are socially distanced, and all dicks are at least 2 meters from all phones.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Monkey Tennis, would you like to start, sir, with your pitch?
I am going to start. My first 2 monkey tennises are going to be fan submissions
Oh
from
my lord.
Mr. Sean George Birmingham,
Friend of the show.
friend
Sean
of the
Birmingham.
show, always listening to us, no matter how long we go, just neglecting his son, listening to the podcast.
Neglecting his quiz duties. I mean, we've beat him, 2 or 3 times now, but,
I've
hold
won
it
the
against
quiz. You've won the
Yeah.
quiz twice. Sean's
Yeah.
not won the quiz. At all.
Too busy listening to podcasts. Not enough time
too busy.
reading books.
Reading books. That's what we're doing.
I'm reading a book this week, darling.
Yeah. I'm prepping for the podcast at the weekend. I'm reading a book.
Book, nougat, and imperial leather.
Imperial leather.
Imperial leather. What's your first guest pitch then? Go on.
It would be the guy from the Old Spice advert. He should do Imperial leather.
You're giving yourself a little slap on the slap.
I'm wearing Imperial leather. Anyway, okay. Pitch
Go on,
for
go
a
on.
6-part TV show. The Celebrity Trip.
Okay.
It's a cross between The Trip and MTV show Punked. Yeah, natural
Yeah.
connections.
It all makes sense so far.
Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon drive to different red carpet events. Red carpet
event.
Setting up rogue leads, unstable paving slabs, and wet services in order to trip up famous celebrities.
Okay.
The winner of the series in the 6th episode has to actually trip up Ashton Kutcher himself and say, "You've been punked, you little."
So that's you really good charity worker, you. Okay, Ashton, he's not privy to this. Also, you've got the rights to say you've been punked. You're allowed to say that. Okay.
Yeah. No, well, or Steve and Rob.
You've been tripped.
That's just what I call them, Steve and Rob, because
First name 10.
they just say you've been punked, and then they just absolutely leg it. The whole camera's shaky on the way out. But yeah, so the main aim is to just trip people up and laugh at them. It's kind of you've been framed with the trip, the celebrity trip.
The celebrity trip. I mean, it's sort of just most of YouTube is stuff like that. So that's great.
But this, Steve Coogan, Rob Brydon, doing their witty banter. They could be, doing it, their Mick Jaggers whilst tripping people over.
Okay. And what would that sound like? Kenny Beveridge, like that. That's the distraction. Over here.
Stop bloody worrying about not tripping over. Stop throwing those bloody spears at me.
Is that Paul Weller? And I'm down, and there's toothpaste done, and I have some toothpaste. Toothpaste means the Labour Party has won. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
Toothpaste.
Well, yeah. Very working class man.
That's what you went for there.
Yeah. We're all about our sort of beauty regime today.
Currently.
Imperial leather.
Yeah. The celebrity trip.
The celebrity trip. Steve Coogan, Rob Brydon pushing people over, leading to a massive push of Ashton Kutcher, and we all go home happy. That's what the world needs right now. I'm going to start with a charity show that I've pitched, and it's based on the film A River Runs Through It, but it's Joan Rivers runs through it. Joan Rivers will run through an obstacle for a charity of your choice. Brick walls, trellis. Trellis. She's headstrong and she aims to prove it. Phew, she can pay her money. Oh, Joan, we don't really like our neighbours. They've got a wonderful bit of patio there. They've just put up their conservatory. Would you consider running through it? She knows the danger. Let's face it, her surgery means that her face will just rebound off any surface.
Boing.
Boing. And of course, you're making some lovely money for charity whilst you're doing it.
It's all just silicone, isn't it? So
it's all silicone, baby. Joan Rivers running through it.
Yeah. That's very good. Yeah.
It's a bit like Hole in the Wall, if you remember that show on ITV here in the UK.
Yes.
Bring on the wall. Where there'd be
yeah.
A cut, sort of a wall had a cutout, and you'd have to get in the right position to go through the wall.
Yes. Yeah. And then some of them you had to run. It was like a treadmill, wasn't it? You had to run and skip.
You should jump through. Something quite fun about it, but that got pulled off the TV.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. I think Dale Winton used to host it.
Obviously.
He would love that. He's often seen around holes in walls when he was.
Okay. Pitch for a 10-part Channel 4 exclusive. Also a fan submission from Sean. He's given us 2 this week.
Lucky boy.
Whose tomb is it anyway? The original cast from Whose Line Is It Anyway get together to excavate different burial sites with the assist of Time Team's Tony Robinson.
Oh, Tony. Yes.
You get some solid historical knowledge, but some belly laughs as well. So they just go around excavating tombs, doing sort of comedy bits.
Comedy bits, Tony obviously legend of Black Out of Fame, but Time Team, a great show, a great fun show. When you learn about history. Well, if it's on, I won't skip it. I'll leave it on. Yeah. Oh, look, it's a Roman wall. Oh, it looks like a wall. Amazing.
How good's that?
Who's that wall been there?
Whose Line Is It Anyway came back after stopping with a couple of the original cast.
It did, yeah. It came back with, is it Wayne, Ryan, and Colin, I believe, the originals that came back.
Right.
I much preferred the American Whose Line. As people know from the pod, big fan of improv. Although that kind of improv is very, it's contested amongst the more serious of the improvisers in the American comedy world. But because that's kind of short form improv, and sometimes it can be a bit scoffed at, as it being more kind of sketch comedy than it is improv and all these kind of things. But really good fun program. And they did tour the West End for a while. Yeah, did some local venues. Never saw it, sadly, but good fun show. Good fun show.
I also probably preferred the American version. Is it Drew Carey?
Yes, host. Yeah.
Drew Carvey, maybe his name is.
I think it's Carey.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah. He was really funny as well.
Yeah. Good show.
Whose tomb is it anyway? Who would they excavate first? Who's number one in the excavation of a comedy improv group with Tony Robinson?
Well, obviously Hitler.
I thought naturally Hitler.
And they excavate him. Tony says, "I did not see that coming." There's a big belly laugh. Roll credits.
Roll bloody credits. Of course, forgetting the fact that Hitler is alive in South America. But apart from that, it would work.
He lives with Jeffrey Epstein now, I think. They moved in together.
Yeah.
Which is the pitch for my next sitcom.
Just a couple of crazy guys.
It's on the Third Reich. Take the Third Reich. It's my new sitcom. Jeffrey Epstein and Adolf Hitler. I'll use their full name. They've moved in together. They don't get on at first, but they're kind of, in the end, it's a kind of a will they, won't they relationship.
He wants to make bratwurst sausages. He wants chipolatas,
You can see the comedy there.
It's all happening.
Yeah. Look forward to that. But yes, whose team is it anyway? Very funny. I like that. I've gone for another short one. Animated feature. How to drain your flagon. Oh, virus update. Newest version of virus definitions have been updated. You'll be
coronavirus update.
You have got a porn virus. Oh no.
Oh.
How to Drain Your Flagon. Animation, so centering around a straight-edge young Viking who forms an unlikely bond with a competitive drinker. How to Drain Your Flagon. So he's a young guy. He's down the line. He's a young kid. He's down the line.
Yeah.
He likes nature. You know, he likes tossing an axe every now and then.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
But one day he looks through the window of the bar. Oh, it looks nice in the tavern. That looks nice in there. A guy comes outside. He's a bit drunk, but you know, he's likable. He's
a jolly drunk.
He's a jolly drunk. They become friends, and you know what? He sort of sees him as kind of a father figure, which is probably a little dodgy looking towards an alcoholic as a father figure. But it's animated, so that's fine.
It's fine. It's for kids. It's fine.
It's for kids. How to Drain Your Flagon.
Nice. Who are the voice actors? Come on, let's come up with
who's an up and coming child actor?
What about could be that girl from? Has it got to be a girl? Has it got to be a boy? What are you envisaging here?
Who was the dwarf in Game of Thrones?
What the hell is his name? I can't not.
Have a quick Google. This will be worth it for the joke. Have a quick Google of that.
His name is Peter Dinklage, of course it is.
Yeah, it won't be him. See, I've taken it the other way there, see? Because you thought I was going to say it would be.
Yeah. I got you. He could play the drunk, actually. Cause
he's going to play the drunk. He plays a good drunk, as we've seen from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He's the father. I don't know. Michael Cera, he can play the kid, because he looks about 10.
Still. He still looks the same as when he was in films when we were like
we were children,
16, 15, and he looks the same now when we're nearly 30. Well,
he's
I am.
You are. You're probably other side of 30, aren't you? 35.
Am I? See any grey hair here? Any grey hair here? No, sir.
Look at that. Just a little bit of dandruff.
Just no grey hair. Just lots and lots. I can't touch it. If I touch it, whole camera will be covered in white.
A fleshy helmet. That sounds a bit strange. How to Drain Your Flagon.
Lovely. I've got a third one. Not Sean's. This isn't Sean's.
Oh yeah, you put some work in.
This is mine, baby. Mine. Okay. Pitch for a BBC 10-part series, which will run for 3 seasons, but will eventually be bought by Channel 4 to middling success.
You've mapped out the business arrangement as well.
Yeah. Okay. The Great Mexican Cartel Off.
Okay.
Mel and Sue settle the oldest question in the book. Which is the best drug cartel in Mexico? Various cartels take part in challenges, including people trafficking, how quickly can you put 1 kilo bag of heroin up your ass, and a Colombia to New Mexico race for who can supply the fastest. The winner of the 10-part series is declared the best drug cartel in Mexico and offered a business dinner with Donald Trump to discuss terms on supplying him.
Whose cartel is it anyway?
The Great Mexican Cartel Off.
Nice to see Mel and Sue back together.
Yeah. I've missed them personally.
Mel and Sue, I want to be like you. Ooh, up. Good.
Is that another Paul Weller one about oppression?
Yeah. The great.
There you go. That was born through me. I was talking to my father, and my mum and dad watch. There's a joke in our family that the Great British insert name here is what my family was. So if it's the Great British Bake Off, or the Great British Sewing Bee, or the Great British whatever, they will watch it.
There's one on Netflix about like potpourri and like plants and flowers.
Right.
I can't remember. It is akin to like the Great Flower Fight or something like that. You know.
So then my dad said, "Well, yeah, all you watch about is Mexican drug cartels and drugs in America, because I do watch a lot of Narcos and Breaking Bad, and it's all about drugs and stuff." So
it's all about drugs.
It's all about drugs, baby.
Wow. He's got some pipes, hasn't he? Singing in the shower. You can imagine it. Rex is back. No reason at all. Rex is back. Good stuff.
Yeah, the Great Mexican Cartel off. There you go.
Right. Do they win some kind of prize at the end when they win, or?
Well, they get distribution rights for the whole of America because
Oh, of course they do. That's enough of a prize.
Trump is about to, legalize drugs in a crazy effort to, get attention.
I think they need to speak to the Clintons if they want the rights to drug supply. Oh, I've gone political.
No, I thought it was if they wanted people trafficking and child raping, they'd speak to the Clintons.
Go to the Clintons. Make sure we bleep that. But yes, that's fine. That's libelous. I've got one more movie.
Yeah,
and a little bit more detailed. Last couple were short. Finish things off for me. Apocalypse Cow. sometime in the future,
right?
A group of this could happen as well. A group of renegade vegans who see themselves as the saviors of humanity. They've spent time amassing an intelligent and armed bovine army,
right?
An army of cows. They're sick of meat eaters. They turn against them. The hunters become the hunted. Yeah,
right.
Tagline.
Nice. He's got the marketing sorted.
One man can save the world. An ex-US Army Vietnam vet turned farmer, Clint Redmeat. Okay. He's playing Clint Redmeat. He's going to be bigger than James Bond, this guy. Clint Redmeat. It's going to be a whole series of films. He's played by Jason Statham.
Obviously.
Clint Redmeat. We'd offer it to the bigger names, your Arnie's, your Sylvester Stallone. They're too old. You want someone that's a respectable age, physical, but can carry themselves. Jason Statham's the man.
Well, this is going to be a whole cinematic universe. So you need someone with a few years, couple of years.
It's going to end up like the Expendables, where there's going to be lots of them all in it.
Yeah.
But Clint Redmeat, Jason Statham. Jason Statham is Clint Redmeat. So he's an ex.
You love that name.
Vietnam vet. I love that name. He retired. He retired. He became a farmer. Special Forces, they reach out to the best man they ever had, Clint Redmeat. And Clint, he's tasked with assassinating the plant-based terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay? With fresh milk still dripping from his lips, he marches over the he marches over the Somerset border. He's set in the UK. He moved to the UK. Will he save the world from utter despair? Second tagline.
Good.
Second tagline. Apocalypse Cow.
Very good. Nice.
I like that.
What could the sequels be called? Apocalypse Cow.
Cow, you see me too? I don't know. I don't know.
See me. Cow. You
Cow forever. It's cow or never. I don't know. They've all got to have cow in, and they're all pun based.
Oh, they're all pun based. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Any more cow?
Bovine of duty. Don't know.
Yeah, that'll do.
Fine. Apocalypse Cow, and I think that's not so much a film as a prediction for the dystopian future we are definitely heading towards.
Yeah, for sure.
Apocalypse Cow.
There
ends Monkey Tennis.
There ends
this week. Stamp it out. Put a sticker on that. She's done.
Put a sticker
Let's
on
move on to the much teased gaming news that we teased a fortnight ago. Fortnite, that's a game. Thank you. Another coin in the well.
Boom.
You've got some gaming news for me, haven't you? Because there's lots of things going on in the world of gaming.
Yeah, well, we are at a point now where we're all inside. We're all doing a bit of gaming probably. But the news is still only really trickling. And because we lost last week's and we are a couple of weeks since we last did anything gaming, there's quite a lot of stuff, but a lot of it's a little bit out of date now. So you had Unreal Engine 5 came out. That was a couple of weeks ago. Very cool.
Unreal Engine. Unreal.
Unreal.
Is that the real one? No. Unreal.
That one's Unreal. Where's the real one? Unreal.
Doesn't unreal mean it's not real? Yeah, but it is real. Yeah. Unreal.
Engine.
5.
There's not. It's been
5.
5. There's been 5. That was good, wasn't it? Did you see that reveal?
Yes, it was good. It's got a lot of praise, didn't it? But then a lot of people are saying, "Oh well, the proof is in the pudding," or indeed, the proof of the gaming is in the playing. When it's on my TV at home, will it look as good as it did during the reveal? I know, whatever.
Almost certainly not.
Almost certainly not. But then it took a good few years for the PS4 to really deliver what they'd promised to start with anyway. So
For sure.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah, absolutely. We held off recording this episode. We normally record on a Thursday before the Monday release. We're on Sunday before the Monday release because we were hoping the PlayStation conference would take place that was cancelled from June 4th. Still hasn't happened. Still no news when it will be. It's been postponed due to things going on in the world.
Sunday, bloody Sunday.
That's what I say. Bloody doesn't
Sunday.
Sunday.
So the reveal has been postponed. So we were gonna deep dive into that. But do you have any predictions? Because they haven't reconfirmed the date, have they? When we thinking? Couple of weeks? Couple of months?
It's getting. I mean,
it's only 6 months till it comes out, isn't it?
Less, because they say holiday, but really that means October. We've got the summer, and it will be out probably Black Friday-ish time. It's coming up very, very close.
Projection for pricing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it seems like one didn't want to reveal before the other, but now they don't want to reveal because of everything that's going on. It seems an odd one. We don't know the price of either. I would assume Digital Foundry and people like that, channels like that, which are brilliant, have done mock-ups of what the parts would cost, and then you've got to think about making the profits. It's going to be 500, I think. It's a wedge. I think 450 is maybe. It's the best case scenario is 450. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it'll be 500 launch. Post Christmas, a 450 slash maybe down to 450.
You're going to take a slash on that 500, make it 450.
I'm going to buy it. I'm going to piss on it, and then
that's what I do.
It's just what I do. It's just what I do.
Did you see Sony were fined 3.5 million for misleading Australian customers?
No, I didn't see that. What
for making false representations regarding consumer law rights. So basically, customers got hold of Sony, said a game was faulty, and they refused refunds because they say it was purchased digitally, and it had been like 2 weeks since they made their purchase.
Right.
That was Sony's terms. But that doesn't align with Australian consumer law. So the case went to court, and Sony lost. So they have to pay realistically, that's a drop in the ocean to Sony, but they have to pay 3.5 mil for misleading customers.
So that could be interesting. I don't know about
timing. Not good timing.
Yeah, don't know about yourself, but I've bought more digital games since all the shops have been closed than I ever have before, and that it's not many. I've bought, I think, 3 in the last kind of like 2 months, and they've all been deep cut on sale. I mean, another thing, the sales are great. I bought NBA 2K20 for £4.
That's cheap.
Pro Evolution Soccer for £6. And the other one I bought was Streets of Rage 4, which was fantastic. I paid full price for it, but it was only 20 quid anyway. But 3 digital games that I've bought, and I don't buy digital at all. I always buy physical copies of games so I can trade them in. That's the thing that's missing on the digital marketplace for games is a trade-in value.
We're both fans of a physical media in all senses, really. I
still buy loads of vinyl.
I like to own it. We said it before. I just like to own. I don't like my things in the cloud because when someone decides the cloud isn't working, I can't access anything. And I don't like that. If I own something, I want to physically own it most of the time.
Yeah, for sure. So, it'd be interesting to see if they've lost a court battle to do with digital sales. Maybe I'm hoping that eventually something's going to improve with digital. I'm not against digital. I would go to it if there was if you could sell digital copies secondhand or something. I probably would change over eventually.
Yeah. I bought a few. I often dabble on Xbox Game Pass. For those that don't know, I have an Xbox, but not a PlayStation at the moment. Or I will have both eventually. Download a lot digital on there. Pay for that or get a month or 2 months on that, and end up getting 2 or 3 games out of it. Like I said before, Sniper Elite 4. Disneyland Adventures. There was a Pixar game we got off there. Things like Witcher are on there, and they've got all Gears of War and Call of Duty. All the things you'd expect.
Yeah.
I very rarely buy a digital game. I normally will download it if I've got Game Pass.
So same really.
One thing I was thinking of is, will PS4 games be compatible with PS5? Because I've seen that they won't be. There's a lot of mixed messages, and is that an issue for you?
There's been a lot of mixed messages. It seemed like a couple of weeks ago that backwards compatibility was going to be possible for almost all PS4 games, but now they're saying something slightly different. I'm very confused by what they're going for.
Is that an issue for you? Because you don't always replay a game unless you love it, do you?
Yeah, I'm not a big replayer of games, and when I buy a new system, I'm mainly worried about playing the games on the new system that are new. But if the launch goes like the PS4, there wasn't a game worth playing for like 8 months. So,
do you have a game in mind that is something that you can't wait to play on PS5? Or
yeah, we're all in the dark, aren't we, with what's going to launch? But I suppose
rumours of Silent Hill.
Yeah, coming the reboot with Hideo and Norman Reedus, and could happen. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 could be a launch game, or close after. I love the first one. But it's going to be interesting with games that are still coming out this generation. So
Last of Us 2, one of your favourites?
Last of Us 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Ghost of Tsushima are the big PlayStation games I would say coming out. You've also got Tony Hawk's, which has been announced to come out.
Remake, yeah, that's going to sell a lot of copies for nostalgia alone. Nostalgia is a big deal. So
yeah, and they've got the original soundtrack or most of the soundtrack, and
what they've got the rights to.
Yeah, it's going to be big, I think. Project Cars 3 for people that are into racing games got announced.
That'll look good. Got
announced like 2 days ago, but again, for summer 2020, and it got announced like 2 days ago. I just don't. So are these games? Is The Last of Us 2? Is Ghost of Tsushima? Are they going to be on Xbox Series X? Are they going? Well, not the exclusives, but are they going to be on PS5? Are they going to be? Is Tony Hawk's going to? I know that Xbox is doing that. I can't remember the scheme, but when you buy it on Xbox One, it's going to carry over to Series X.
This is the issues I've had in the past with backwards compatibility. Yeah, for the Xbox Series X, they're saying thousands of games will be playable. And people are saying, well, does that mean every game? And they went, no. It means every game that is currently backwards compatible from Xbox 360 will be available, which is no change. And then some original Xbox games will be. But all old games will supposedly run better just due to the software and whatever.
Upscaling.
Frame rates, etc.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, moving slightly into the Xbox, which also the reveal event is sometime next month. Nobody knows. I think they're kind of versus Sony as to who's doing what at the moment.
Yeah, who wants to go first? Especially on price, like we were saying, who's gonna bite the bullet and go first is going to be a big question.
I mean, I've always been relatively loyal to Xbox just because that's just what I've had. I mean, I had a PS2 and I played a lot of PS3 and things, but I just I've always had Xbox. The reveal doesn't excite me, I'm going to be honest, because when they say things like, "Oh, Halo Infinite," I'm like, nobody cares about Halo anymore. I'm sorry. I played it online over 10 years ago with my brother. You know what I mean? I don't need to play any more Halo. Oh, there's thousands of old games you can play. I'm much more of a replayer than you are at the moment. We're playing Witcher 3, for example, but that's not a selling point. That should be a given. Oh, by the way, you can play your old games. It shouldn't be guess what? You can play your old games on there.
Pay £500 for this and play all your old games.
And then they supposedly leaked images of the new store, which was Codename Mercury. Looks exactly the same. Looks the same as the Xbox store at the moment. It's exactly the same. It's like, it's like a bit more blue or a bit more purple. It's like, if you're going to do something, get an exclusive out there. Get a real good, it's not Halo.
Get a
real good, original exclusive that, you know, if they were smart, they'd have done something with Marvel or with Star Wars, or like had got a real big brand behind them, because I just don't know if they'd got the exclusive rights on the Tony Hawk rebuild.
Yeah.
Even something like that would be like, oh, that's okay. That's really cool.
That's now something. I mean, this generation, in my opinion, has been easily won by Sony with all the exclusives. It's been a bit. I mean, I've always had PlayStations, but I've had all of the Xboxes apart from the Xbox One, and it's just been sad to see the amount of games that haven't been able to be played cross-platform that have been PlayStation.
That's another thing, mate. I mean, that's the dream. Is the ultimate? You can play both on both.
Yeah. What
online.
Difference does it make?
They're competing against each other, but also they are rulers of the gaming industry. So I just don't see why it's got to be, oh, you're an Xbox player, you're a PS5 player.
Yeah.
And it just gets a bit silly. Everyone loves gaming, so, you know, let it be a place of peace and love, man. Peace and love.
At least there's things like crossplay now. I've got
that's good.
I play COD with a friend who has an Xbox, and
you play with COD. You play fish with your friends.
Yeah, we go out, catch some COD, then we just play with them as they suffocate, flapping around. Just play with them. That's what everyone's doing, right? On mic.
End the meeting.
Our squad of 4 that play Warzone. Three of us have PlayStations. One of us has an Xbox. Works fine. Absolutely seamless.
That's good.
Thank God. I mean, it took so many years for crossplay. But so, I mean, going back to Xbox, what do they need? I think that's a good shout. They need a brand. Maybe they could have signed an exclusive DC deal, and it could have been Marvel DC. I mean, DC.
Yeah, right. I just don't know. It's hard to think of original ideas. I mean, what could they have? I don't know. Even just good remakes. I knew Fable would be good because of Fable 4 mess.
That's a big one.
That was a big deal for Microsoft fans when they shut down the studio. But I think the rights have been bought out by someone else. So that would be tempting. Yeah. You know, I don't know. Racing games I'm not so hot on. Wrestling games of 2K have just bitten the dust, haven't they, and all this mess.
Yeah, I mean, they've got, I suppose, the biggest, Forza, but it's only going to sell as much. Halo, Gears, really the only 3.
Yeah.
State of Decay, and then Fable's not been used.
No.
So maybe Fable.
Don't know. It's a tough one. I just, I'm not particularly excited by it at the moment, which is a shame. But
I've just popped into my head a good idea.
Go on.
You know what they've got, which they could. I don't know if it would be a sequel or it would have to be a full sequel. What about an Xbox Series X exclusive sequel to Minecraft?
Wow, that would be the biggest. I mean, Minecraft's the best-selling game ever, isn't it? So,
owned by Microsoft, right? Isn't it?
Is it? Yeah, it might well be. Minecraft 2. Even more Minecraft. Miner craft.
Even more mining and more crafting.
You're telling me there's not only more mining, but more crafting?
There's crafting and mining.
There's crafting, there's mining. Is there grafting?
You've got a graft to craft.
Rock and roll up. You've got a graft to craft, baby.
Yeah.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot up in the air at the moment with gaming, and I just before I did this, I saw an article about just a random fact to end, perhaps nearing towards the end of our gaming extravaganza. China's most famous esports player, I think he's called Zhang Zihao, has officially retired from gaming, age 23,
Right.
citing ill health. So he was a professional League of Legends player since 2012, right? Under the name Uzi. And he's announced that he's type 2 diabetic from eating too much sugar and staying up late from gaming.
No.
So he has retired from gaming, age 23.
Right. I mean, playing video games, doesn't mean that you have to eat shit. You could just make a meal.
Yeah. There's a lot of debate out in China and indeed around the world of gaming sickness, and we've seen it multiple times. Do games make you evil? Do games make you ill? Do games make you a loner? And there's a lot of false narratives out there and a lot of disinformation, as there is some interesting stuff as well. Yes, if you sit in and play games your whole life, it's probably not going to be great for your cardio or your eyes. But I just find it interesting that at 23 now he's going to have to, no matter how much money he's going to have to go, right, what shall I do for the rest of the 80 years of my life?
Yes, yeah. What shall I do now? I've probably got loads of money, but don't have maybe, I don't know, any interest in anything else because I've just been living in League of Legends.
Legend. The show. Welcome to Legend FM.
He'll probably just start a podcast like everyone else.
What a stupid idea.
I want you to talk about something that we did on the Lost episode, the Forever Lost episode.
Forever Lost.
You brought us some interesting things on your favourite game series.
Oh yes, briefly I shall mention what would have been great, which I was thinking about anyway, is an Xbox exclusive Vikings game.
Ooh.
Proper Vikings, 4K.
Sorry.
Hello,
proper Vikings.
Hello, I'm a Viking. There has been a few Viking games, but you want a proper, not God of War, none of these things. A proper, realistic, grounded Viking game. I know there's multiple Viking ages. Viking is a bit of a collective term for a lot of different things.
Yeah,
you can have it. They go to England, or what wouldn't, I don't think it was even called England back then, but they go to invade other countries, or maybe you just have your home base and you're kind of expanding your influence across Europe, etc., etc. Then they announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Watched the
and you thought, yes,
finally. Jurassic Park, get Rex.
Yeah.
I was happy. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
You love
and
that.
Yeah, my love for Assassin's Creed. Started going downhill, kind of Black Flag onwards, but it still has some good things. Unity's still got something to say for the detail, and Syndicate's got something to say for the London atmosphere. So I still think there's some good things after the Ezio trilogy, but I still feel like that's probably where it peaked. Obviously we said they remade it, Origins, Odyssey. It's good, it's huge. They've kind of gone a more of a fairy tale, fantasy way, not really kind of grounded in realism. But then they announced Valhalla, and I thought, whoa, baby, this is what we need. If only that was exclusive. And then I watched the reveal, watched the trailer, then I watched the gameplay reveal, which was just more cutscenes. That wasn't
gameplay reveal,
whatever. Everybody's peed off about it. And I remember seeing Ben from Triple Jump saying he was really invested in buying the game, and then he saw that it has like customizable birds and ravens and stuff that you can have, and he was like, not going to buy the game now. And I'm kind of with him in that. And I watched the trailer, and the trailer looked like an amazing Viking epic. It didn't look like an Assassin's Creed game. I did some digging. I thought, well,
definitely didn't look like an Assassin's Creed game.
I don't mind, because it could be a really cool Viking game.
Yeah.
It might not necessarily follow the lore, perhaps, that the games have set, but the last two...
Not the end of the world. I mean, my favourite is probably Black Flag, which is essentially just a pirate game.
Yeah, and that's fine. Exactly. Still has kind of the overarching theme of Abstergo and conspiracy. but it's a lot more set on you're a pirate, you're doing piratey things. Cool. I've watched a few videos of people dissecting the trailers as we like to do. Two particular channels that I would highlight quickly is History with Hilbert and Shadiversity. Both did kind of contrasting videos on the positives and negatives of the Valhalla reveal trailer and the historical accuracies. Games are games; they're not always going to be perfect, but Ubisoft have very much been at the forefront of really good architectural building within games and keeping things very real to how they would have been. Looking at Renaissance Italy as a good example, and even Paris in Assassin's Creed Unity. When Notre Dame burned down, some of the architects went to Ubisoft to look at their plans for the game because they were so detailed in their design. So they really are hot.
That is insane, isn't it? That's incredible.
Crazy. It must be the first time that they've gone to a game for reference to build something physically, I would
absolutely
imagine.
Amazing. Yeah.
And it just seems like the realism is kind of lacking. These videos kind of explain some of the historical issues. What it seems like Ubisoft have done is they've gone, let's build a Viking game. Right, what do? Let's make it all of the Viking stuff that they did. Okay, what do they do? Oh, they had axes. Oh, let's give everyone axes. Great. The only thing they didn't have is horns on helmets, which is obviously a complete nonsense anyway.
They didn't have horns on helmets.
Have horns on helmets, which was good. But they did have a few issues, including incorrect shields for the time period.
Right.
Wrong types of axes, especially really heavy axes that there's no way you could swing them. So it's just leaning towards the fantasy element.
It's the yeah, for sure.
What kind of armor? Everyone was wearing fur. If you're going to wear fur, you wear it on the inside. You don't wear it on the outside. It doesn't protect you. It just doesn't do anything. Wrong kind of houses, wrong kind of coastline. It just kept going. Wrong imagery, different arrows that weren't the right arrows. And I was like, what it looks like they've done is they've gone, let's just put everyone's idea of what a Viking game should be, and we'll make it. So you'll have your home place where you do up your little camp and you can lead, and there'll be decisions with regards to your community. And then you'll go to England and you'll just fight with axes and it'll be great. And it's like, oh, yeah, that kind of sounds cool. It's not an Assassin's Creed game.
No, definitely not.
That evolution from realism to fantasy, I think, is probably going to be cemented with this game. It supposedly bridges the gap between new and old lore, so they kind of this is meant to be the game that goes, oh, actually, look, we are still Assassin's Creed, but
the Templars and the this and the Abstergo and all that stuff. And
it's not the right age to do it. They're still doing the whole God thing with Odin, and that was kind of reflected in the trailer. And they got some stuff right with swords and things like some of the tunics and the buckles and belts and things were quite detailed. So they haven't gone. They've obviously researched it, but then they've gone, doesn't really matter. Let's make it all kind of big, and it just made me a bit kind of disappointed that it really looks like they've established this is what Assassin's Creed is now. And it's fantasy, RPG driven, massive maps.
Although this one is said to be smaller, which is, thank the Lord.
I hope so.
Thank Odin for that.
Yeah, thank Odin for that, because Origins was bad and Odyssey, which I still am slogging my way through, although I hadn't played it, if I'm honest. It's too big. It's too big. It's too big. You're sailing to island after island, which once you've seen one, you've seen them all. They look beautiful. The best things in Odyssey are the cities. The cities have got good detail, but other than that, meh. And some, especially with the reveal of the Xbox, is it going to be 4K? Is it going to be better than that? Does it depend on what you're playing it on? I don't know how good it's going to look, but I went from being excited to watching the trailer to going, oh, that looks cool, and then watching other people who know a lot about history go, oh no, it's probably not going to be that good.
Well, that sounds a shame.
I'm a bit disappointed. Will I get it? I probably will get it. Not straight away. I'm not going to pay 50 quid for it, but
I thought I also was a bit. I didn't think it looked particularly special, although I know friends of mine that looked at it and thought, oh, this looks amazing. But then, especially people that are really into Vikings and have watched maybe the show Vikings. And
my dad's a big fan of Vikings.
And, I think it will be cool, but it doesn't look like Assassin's Creed to me. There's not going to be much, assassinating in terms of stealth and things like that.
A stealth axe chop of the head. The age doesn't lend itself to stealth, which brings us to what age is what times in history maybe would be a good setting for Assassin's Creed. What do you reckon?
Yeah, dream time periods for Assassin's Creed have been talked about pretty much since it started.
Since an inception, yeah, since its beginning.
I'd like Assassin's Creed set in the film Inception. Talking of that,
Assassin's Creed Inception. Little spinning top.
Just Christopher Nolan, just there behind the camera. Like, it's kind of a fly on the wall of the making of Inception, but you're an assassin. Yeah, there's something there.
Colleen Nolan, she's there. And then next, they're filming the Assassin's Creed movie with Michael Fassbender.
Oh, that was bad.
The flop, which I thought, this is going to be really good. Oh, it's okay.
It's not great, is it? It was strange film.
That was meant to start off a few films. That was meant to be the first in like 3 films. Yeah. Never heard of it again. Generally really disappointed by that.
I'm going to need to move because my bottom is in so much pain.
He's moving. Look, that's a cheeky leg. Have a move. Look.
There we go.
Look at that. That's much better, isn't it? How's your bum?
Oh, it hurts. How's yours?
Oh, agony. But it smells great of Icelandic moss, so...
So, feudal Japan, people have always talked about.
I think, there was a lot of rumour of it was in production, and then it wasn't. And then there was kind of an obscure, it's going to be an Asian setting, and everyone was like, what's that? Then they did some kind of spin-off phone game, which I believe was like a Chinese game, I think.
A side-scrolling game that was Chinese, Russian, and then somewhere else.
Yeah, I believe there was a crossover of characters with the last, with a short movie that the Assassin's Creed team made. I think one of the Chinese assassins was involved in that. So there is some lore to it, but it was a bit of a mess.
So for me, my dream period would probably be World War II or World War One.
So later, much later in history then.
Much later in history. Or something like Nazi-occupied France. Something like that. Something like The Saboteur.
Oh, I love that game.
Setting.
They went out of business as well.
Yeah. I'd love something like that, a kind of like noir-style assassin.
The map was black and white when it was occupied, and then when you saved the area, it became colour. The colour came out.
Such a cool idea.
Yeah. What was the name of that studio? It had a gas mask, and was it like Pandemic or something like that? They had a gas mask with their logo. I can't remember.
It was Pandemic, I think.
Pandemic, yeah, it's a great game. If remake that for Xbox. Hello, Mama.
Oh my god, I'd love that.
Great score. Had a really, really great music to it. Some great tracks.
Pandemic Studios, yeah. It's actually it's 11 years old.
Wow, really? Yeah,
quite old now. So a similar kind of like Nazi-occupied.
That would be cool.
Europe, like, but as an assassin, like, covert operations, trying to take espionage.
You'd be working for the military or whatever, yeah.
So I'd love that.
That would be good.
The other one I thought was Russia. I'd go the 1917 revolution, like talking about so that's the Bolshevik revolution that brought about the Soviet Union. So maybe trying to stop it or trying to enact a communist government in Russia. That would be cool.
Go and see Rasputin for a mission.
Absolutely,
Rasputin is waiting for you in the parlor.
My third idea would be a complete scrap of it all and a reboot in Italy.
Yeah.
With Ezio.
A 4K, because they did the Ezio trilogy again, but a 4K rebuild would be beautiful with the detail.
Even the first 3 games over a 6 to 7 year period, complete rebuild for a new console, new missions, new everything, but or even a rebuild of the Altair games without all the rubbish. I'd
like them to see them actually make a really good version of the first game, which, let's face it, was lacking in detail, and although it established the lore and stuff, it was lacking a bit. Going back and playing it now, it's still cool, but It doesn't really hold up.
There's like 3 mission variants, aren't there? There's like follow this person, sit and listen to this person, and I'd love like you said, a rebuild of the first game. But yeah, what about you? What would be your dream periods?
Well, I'm with you on perhaps a World War One, because it gets less looking at than a World War Two.
World War One would be great.
A trench warfare Assassin's Creed game where you have to get to the next trench to plant. So you're digging tunnels and you're planting a bomb underneath it, or you're going to assassinate a general, or you're getting into a bunker, or I've always had it in my head that beautifully cinematic. You're running over no man's land, dodging bullets as an assassin, and then you jump into a trench. Wouldn't that be just the coolest thing?
Would be so cool
ever. Defending it, flicking bullets with your swords. Then it gets a bit silly. Yeah. I'd like a proper Japan game would be amazing. I'd like a proper Native American game. I know Assassin's Creed 3 sort of was, you played as a Native American character, but it was kind of colonial America and Civil War. It just kind of was lacking to me in good storytelling, and I don't think Connor as a character was a very likable character. A traditional Native American game where they could do all that. You're building up your camp, you're building up your community, you're warring with other nations, you're hunting. You could do all of that stuff, but in a really grounded, respectful portrayal of Native Americans, of which there isn't much of that in media. Let's be honest. Something that doesn't get enough attention, especially at the moment, is Native American issues. It's not exactly great. So I'd love to see a real good Native American game. I would have said Viking game. Yeah,
that would have been up there for sure.
So we'll see. Good medieval England game. I know there's some crossover with Vikings depending on the age, but the whole castle warfare. I know games like Kingdom Come have done a first-person version of that, where you're playing as a knight, like avenging someone, which I haven't played, which I may possibly play, but because I love a castle. We all love a castle. A good old-fashioned that, or maybe like an English nobility game in the 17 or 1800s, where you're kind of in a manor house and you have to, go out to whatever. Maybe Mayan or Incan as well. So you're building pyramids.
That'd be cool.
Trading cacao and all those kind of things, sacrifices, and I think that's more likely with the newer version of Assassin's Creed, because I think their design elements lend themselves more to a Mayan or an Incan style tropical paradise. I think they'd probably build that quite well.
Yeah.
But it's tough, man. It's tough. How many more are they going to make? Are they going to keep going further back, which is what they seem to be doing? Are they going to go make a completely modern one, which they did have the modern elements before? I don't know.
Maybe we'll have. I wonder if we'll get a sub-Saharan African game if it keeps going further back and back.
I mean, wow. Yeah.
I don't know what
Assassin's Creed Cavemen.
Yeah, it would be like that Far Cry game, wouldn't it?
Yes, I played that.
Far Cry Primal.
That was similar. You had to build up your community, and strange game. It was okay, but it wasn't great.
I mean, it wasn't great. I'd even say a really cool espionage Cold War Assassin's Creed.
Cold War, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But then maybe you might as well just make a new game series that's called...
This is where we're going again. Why is it Assassin's Creed? Assassin's Creed in space.
Yeah.
How far do you go with it?
That's it. Well, that's gaming.
That's gaming. We've done a deep dive.
I'm looking forward to the next few months. Last of Us 2 comes out in a matter of 2 weeks' time, and you will hear me probably gushing on it on the pod for the next few months after this. So
you're going to see Kenny gushing all over the place in the next few weeks.
All over.
There's been some controversy with gushing and Last of Us 2, but remains to be seen how good it's going to be when you play it.
Yeah, I don't know any of the leaks or any of the rumours or any of the issues.
Talking of gushing, leaks.
I've stayed away from them completely. Hopefully it's nothing to do with gushing.
I think you're going to be disappointed. Well, you're going to be gushing in a minute about Run the Jewels album, but
I am.
First, as another comedy segment comes out of my brain through the microphone into your ear holes, and they are holes.
That's how it works.
I've got a degree. last week we started the
Your
episode
degree in biology or
biology of writing, in a way.
music, in a way.
In a way, that's better than any degree that you've got, in a way.
In a certain way.
I started last week with a list of, I think it was 54 things you can do in isolation from Glamour magazine. We've lost that in the ether. It's gone forever.
Lost. All that comedy goodness.
Like comedy gold. We'll never get it back, but we're firing shots here. I found a new list that I'm going to briefly go down. We're going to talk about some of the things we've been doing in isolation before we move on to Kenny's music review of the day. This is Hello Magazine's 44 things you can do in isolation. 44. 45, get out of town.
No, sir.
43.
45 things.
43, not doing enough.
You've got one more thing to do.
One more, 44. Just go through a few here. See what we've been doing. We'll start with point 4. Get motivated. Okay. And what they've done is they've done a handy next to the number, get motivated, what you'll need to do this.
Okay, good.
That's heading.
Please let me know.
Get motivated. What you'll need, a notepad and a positive mindset. I mean, I've got one of those things. Yeah, as guys that both struggle with mental health, need a bit more information than get motivated.
That'll be fine.
Hello Magazine's point 4, get motivated. Grab yourself a notepad, mate. Get yourself thinking happy thoughts. You'll be there in no time.
Thank God I've got this magazine, because I was thinking, how the hell am I going to get motivated? And now, with this positive mindset,
yes, you can do anything.
I can do it.
Number 5, start a podcast. Stupid idea. Don't do that.
Never.
Don't do that. Who would do that? What you'll need, a book about podcasting for beginners. And I thought, you also need a microphone and a laptop and editing software and content.
And an idea of a subject.
Yeah. No. Buy Podcasting for Dummies. That'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
That's what we did. I went, should we start a podcast? You went, yeah, I've got this book. All about podcasting for beginners.
Just so it turns out that Hello Magazine is sponsored by Podcasting for Dummies this week.
Exactly.
Available for...
If you do want to sponsor us, that is fine. Number 8, point 8, evening drinks, brackets, from home. Well, yeah. We're in isolation.
So is it just telling you to drink at home?
Well, yeah, what you'll need, girls, kinky, wine, maybe snacks, not non-committal on the snacks.
Maybe snacks, depends if you're on Atkins or if you're on
exactly
high protein or high carb.
You can have 4 bottles of red wine, but Snacker Jacks, I'm not sure. And then it says maybe a quiz book. We've been dabbling on the quizzes, so
nice.
A lot of uncertainty with point 8. That but the fact remains it wants you to drink from home.
And what you need is girls.
Oi, go. Point 10, TV. Watch TV. What you'll need, a TV.
A TV.
That's what it said. That's what it said.
That's not what it says.
It is.
Wow. Okay. Well,
there was an additional point, which was watch Disney movies. What you'll need, a TV and Disney Plus. Well, we've dabbled on Disney Plus over the last few weeks, as people have heard. One of my personal favourites was point 12 here. Something we can all relate to. Buy a dartboard.
what?
Buy a dartboard. What you'll need. Have we guessed what you'll need for a dartboard, mate?
Stable income.
Go think again.
Pinpoint eyesight.
Well, you'll need a dartboard. You need a dartboard.
Fuck yeah! You need a dartboard.
Yeah. So, love. We got dartboards? No. Oh, we can't do point 12. We need a dartboard. I had a dartboard once. I had a dartboard
as well. Just Hello Magazine, sponsored by World Professional League of Darts this week.
Yeah, yeah. We love you guys. League of Darts. Assassin's Creed Darts.
Some people call them the League of Legends.
Hey, that's good from you. Point 14.
From you, that's a good one for you, not for me. Average for me. For you, that one's all right.
For you, that was okay for you. Point 14, do a jigsaw puzzle for adults. And I don't know if that's like just a giant vagina or something. Do a jigsaw for adults. So,
Not safe for work.
Yeah. And NSFW. 16, make cheese.
Well,
So I get maybe don't shower for a week. That'll be that.
Oh,
smeg.
oh.
28. Make a travel bucket list. Which, to me, that's a kick in the teeth because that's all the places you'll never get to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll put Tenerife on there. Can we get there? Oh, no, we can't fly. Oh. And if we can, we'll be in a mask for 8 hours and there's no food.
Yeah.
Oh. So basically, make a list of all the places you wish you'd gone before coronavirus.
And of course, you lost your job last week, and I'm going to lose mine next. So,
still, Venice.
Venice.
Number
Talking
30.
of Assassin's Creed, Venice.
Personal favourite here. Number 30. Give your face a workout. Unique New York.
Unique? Why?
Now they've got. Well, I'll tell you for
What
why.
do you need for that?
A membership to the UK's only gym for your face, Face Gym. That's right.
This week's Hello Magazine is sponsored by Face Gym.
Masterclass: how to relieve tension in your face. So you do a warm-up session. You do face cardio.
Feel the burn.
Imperial leather. A sculpting session. Get those cheekbones out. I used to have quite powerful cheekbones. And you get a cool down at the end. Only £45 for 45 minutes. That's £1 a minute for someone to tell you how to move your face.
Holy moly smokes.
Holy moly smokes.
That is...
maybe next time I'll look up the exact exercises. We can do them on air. That would be nice.
Please do.
Point 32, gets a bit sad here. Call your nan. What you'll need, a phone and a nan.
That's alive.
Well, one's dead and the other's been frozen out of my family, so I don't think I'm going to do point 32. I don't think I've completed that one.
So it's point 32, call your nan. Point 33, call a bereavement specialist.
Yeah, exactly.
One or the other.
Here's a helpline. 39, cocktail night. More drinking with point 39. What you'll need, weird one, ice cubes. And cocktails or just ice cubes?
Probably cocktails too.
Nice cocktail glass, bit of sugar around the, a bit of lime in there, some ice cubes.
Just chock full of ice cubes.
Well, as of last week when it was hot, that would have been lovely.
Mm.
I was on 2 showers a day, talking of showers. It's cooled down a bit here now in the UK, but it was...
It has. It was warm.
Point 42 here, coming to the end. Buy a 2021 diary. Again, not sure what I can plan at the moment. It's all up in the air. Why get a diary? Silly.
I've considered throwing away my calendar for this year.
You should. Is that the one with pictures of naked firemen on it?
No, I would never throw that one away.
I'm going to say, don't be so stupid. Rex?
That's Rex's favourite.
Rex. 44.
You're
Nice
Rex.
44. Read the best magazine on the planet. But I think they got rid of Nuts magazine, didn't they? So.
FHM, is that what they mean? Or?
Is that FHM? Is that the one? So there's just a few points there of things that we've done some of them, things that you can be doing in isolation. Just remember, make sure you have a nan, make sure you have a dartboard, get some ice cubes in you, and you'll be ready to go. You'll be ready to start a podcast.
Yeah, only if you've got that book.
Yeah.
What did we do? What was the first thing we did? Let's start a podcast. Did we think of the name and the concept?
Yeah, we thought of the name. We had lots of phone calls. We thought of the name, and then we thought of gear. How we're going to do it? Because
mainly gear, isn't it?
With content, it actually, as you guys can tell, we're not stuck for content, baby.
We could chat about Hello Magazine for 20 minutes.
I could have done the 44 points of that. It would have been golden, but I chose not to. So it wasn't actually content. It was tech. It was tech stuff. What we'd need to do it.
Ours was tech, yeah.
Logistics. Logistics is a big thing. If you don't live in each other, which Kenny and I don't, logistics is the biggest thing of all. So if you want to start a podcast out there, guys, a couple of ice cubes, a couple of books, and then actually buy the stuff you need to do a podcast.
Yeah. It's quite expensive, some of it, unless you can get a potentially cracked version of Adobe Audition.
We do not.
Don't.
We would never support that. Also, Kenny didn't break lockdown to see his mum for his birthday.
Oh yeah, because that was last week I spoke about that, that thing that didn't happen.
Kenny did not go down for a lovely surprise to see his family. There were no tears.
Tears of virus just dropping.
Oh, stay alert. Oh.
Yeah. Didn't happen.
Did not happen, baby. If Cummings can do it, we can do it. We call it Cummings and Goings. That's a new section on the podcast.
That's good.
Who's broken lockdown this week on Cummings and Goings? There we go.
Oh, that's brilliant. I can't wait to visit Barnard Castle.
Oh, Barnard, baby. Come on. You've got a lovely music review, haven't we, as we're heading to our close?
I do, indeed.
You've got something you want to shine the spotlight on this week?
I thought I'd shine it on probably the biggest release of the week, of this week. So you're on Monday, so it will be last week. Run the Jewels numero 4.
Lots of numbers this show. 5, 4.
Coming at you.
3, 2, 1.
Number 4, Run the Jewels, rap, hip-hop collective, Killer Mike and LP, released their new album, Run the Jewels 4. They've had 1, they've had 2, they've had 3. They don't name their albums, they just name them the band with a number.
Why not? Is this the Killer Mike who did a passionate speech about equality last week?
That is the very same Killer Mike, the very same Killer Mike who has a show on Netflix called Trigger Warning, which is a kind of satire comedy show, which is very good as well.
No, we all know a Killer Mike. Wanted to make sure that was the Killer Mike.
Yeah.
You mean short Killer Mike? I thought you meant tall Killer Mike.
Oh no, he's the bigger one. Yeah.
No. You're thinking of serial Killer Mike. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. He prefers to be called Michael, serial killer Michael.
Oh, Killer Michael. Yeah,
and it's not German Mike, Miguel. It's Killer Mike.
Don't be stupid. They're completely different people. Idiot.
The album was dropped I think it was 3 days early. It was 2 or 3 days early.
Cheeky.
From the initial release date, and was dropped for free or for donation to the Mass Defense Committee, who is a network of lawyers, legal workers, law students working to represent protesters and things like that. So the whole album was dropped as one of those pay what you want. So, and anything you paid went to that, to the Mass Defense Committee. So quite nice.
Amazing.
Some of the reviews have come out pretty shining. NMA gave it a 5 out of 5. DIY Magazine gave it 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Variety gave it 9.5. Rolling Stone gave it an 8. Pitchfork gave it an 8.3.
When you get to 9.5, you think, what's that other 5?
Yeah. What's the 0.5?
Yeah. I thought it was the other Killer Mike. 9.5.
I prefer the other Killer Mike. The Metacritic, as of when we were planning this, was 92. That might have changed a little bit by the time this episode will go out.
I loved album.
It is good. It is. I mean, we know we're not touching. We don't touch particularly on politics or current affairs on this show. We're more escapism, silliness, funness. But it is very much an album.
Oh dear.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
It very much is an album of our time, of this very time. It's quite crazy really, because it was recorded late 2019 from all accounts, but some of the tracks, some of the lyrics, they really feel like they could have been written last week.
It's very prophetic, not pathetic like us, but prophetic.
Some highlights. The single "Ooh La La" was really good.
Ooh La La, that one.
Yeah. "Walking in the Snow" has got a incredible line about being choked out by a policeman. Recorded at the end of 2019 and released. Wow. It's really, it's quite something.
Scary. It just shows how much of an issue, police brutality is for something to be so relevant, to be recorded at a completely different time, and it still has so much relevance today. It's very poignant, very important.
The song "Just" got Zach De La Rocca on it from Rage Against the Machine. Has a really, really cool verse. And then the whole album is incredible. I did a mini review on the Twitter. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I thought it was pretty much perfect. But I just want to break down the last track. A few words for the Firing Squad, which is, for me, in my opinion, one of the best hip hop songs I've ever heard.
Wow.
It's a crazy mix of kind of, starts with the strings and the pianos rising through the melody, and then you get this saxophone motif that comes in, and it's got this kind of glitchy kind of aspect to it with the words that glitch in and out, and the production is quite incredible. Some of the lyrics are amazing. Killer Mike talking about he could be another Malcolm, he could be another Martin. She told her partner, I need a husband more than the world needs another martyr. Just very, very good.
Lovely. We've spoken before about the crossover of poetry and lyricism and spoken word and hip hop, and how there is there's a lot to be said for hip hop lyrics being some of the best written lyrics around currently in modern music. So I think a song like that probably it displays that really.
Yeah, it really does.
There's a lot of depth to hip hop that sometimes is forgotten with things like whatever mumble rap or whatever chart song is perhaps doing well. Hip hop can get a bad rap.
Yeah, absolutely. You won't get many bad raps on this album. But yeah, it's great to hear a hip hop album using real drums. There are some trap drums and synth work on it, but there is real drum kits on the album, which is something that we both love.
Can't beat an acoustic kit. Can't beat a real organic sound, especially on a hip hop album. Some people have done it before, so nice to see. I wonder if live perhaps they'll do that or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that. But yeah, this track, it kind of just builds and builds, and it's very tension filled. And a lot of people, when I was listening to it and looking at reviews, a lot of people on Twitter saying that brought them to tears. It's kind of this culmination of the album, this building tension. And then it kind of breaks away into this synth chord, which is extended. And then this saxophone it's just like boom. And there's this huge crescendo ending out of nowhere. Feels like this kind of release of tension. And it really is. It's close, I would say, it's like a kind of perfect for a movie or for something like that. It's got this real amazing kind of tension to it.
A crescending.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's if you're not into hip hop, which some of our listeners probably aren't, I would recommend listening to A Few Words for the Firing Squad if you're going to listen to one track. It's a very important track in our modern time, I think. And an album which is flawless.
An album that certainly tracks that may well become anthems that will be looked back on in certainly musical history and history in general, political history, social history, and an album that couldn't have come at a more important time for for Black lives in America.
Yeah, I think when I reviewed it on the Twitter, lightning in a bottle is about as well as we can sum it up. It is the perfect album at the perfect time to represent, serious issues in the world. It's fantastic.
Genie in a Bottle, of course, also a good song.
Just let me know that my NTU student account settings are out of date. Just that's what that little noise.
Oh no, we can't use all those settings anymore.
But yes, that is RTJ4. Check it out.
Amazing.
Hit us up what you think of it.
So yes, I've dabbled, and it's almost a concept album, really. It's very musical. All the themes are intertwining, very important. Don't matter who guests on a track, it's still, there's a thread running through it, a lot of pain, but a lot of hope as well. So
I had Josh Holm, Queens of the Stone Age, features on a track.
He's on it. He features on everything. I'm pretty sure he's in this podcast.
I'm pretty
I know
sure.
Rex is here. I know Rex is here.
Is he?
There he is.
Where is he?
Hey! No one knows. It's beautiful. Well, that's Kenny's hip hop hooray. Feature. Well, we've gone an hour and a half. Let's finish with some puns and let these people get on with their day. Probably getting some ice cubes again. Giving their face a quick workout. Pun association. What's pun association?
So we run a pun, not competition.
It's not a competition. If it is, I've won, but it's not a competition.
It's a collaboration of, we pick 2 topics, we decide to think of some funny puns on them. It's a little game that we play most podcasts, normally on a general podcast, always. It's even got its own jingle.
Pun association.
That's how it sounds.
It's like the Mastermind theme. It goes, da, 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 da. And your specialist subject is?
Pun association. That's how it goes.
Ooh, good stuff.
So good. So this week we are doing very general pop culture and podcasting puns.
More numbers: 5, 10, 10, 20. I'm doing a rap. There is plenty. Yo, I am a man. You are a man, and we have a van. Get in the van. Pun association.
Get in the van.
Podcasting and pop culture.
Another Paul Weller song for you there. Just another Paul Weller.
I'm not going to do Paul.
That was his experimental hip hop album / sort of serial killer album.
Weller. Paul.
Get in my fucking van.
Can you give me some puns, please?
Well, I thought the first thing the pun that I would mention is a special hashtag Podden Family. So people will see on our Twitter that we sometimes hashtag Podden Family. It's a collection of podcasts that are punning modern family to Podden Family, and just a nice way to find podcasts. So if you're after a new podcast and you've listened to every single piece of our content, including all the promos,
you listened again because you think, episodes. I didn't quite get the genius the first time round.
You've somehow
give it a second go.
You've somehow got hold of the corrupted episode. You've listened to that, but won't share it.
It's been leaked somewhere.
Should you have listened to all of our content, you could search the hashtag Podden Family and find lots of good podcasts. So that's one of my puns. I'll give you another one. Road to Adobe Edition.
Lovely.
Road to Perdition.
That's funny. Adobe Edition, what we used to edit. Kenny very splendidly edits our podcasts on that. Maybe Adobe the House Elf, Adobe the House Elf from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So pop culture, podcast puns. We're going to go with the famous Tina Turner song, Simply the Guest on the podcast. He's simply the guest. We get Rex in. Then we get Rex in. So I'm going to introduce it. Simply the guest. There he is. He's better than all the rest.
Guests. Yes, say that to every guest.
Yeah. Just sort of a pitch for a new feature. But of course, we've only had one guest on once ever. Famous wrestler Sid Vicious. And that was, a nightmare. To be continued.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
That's the second lost episode, which we both still own.
Yeah, I have it on my laptop. Sometimes just watch it for a laugh every now and then.
Simply the guest.
I like it. I'm going to come in. So I don't know if you'll know this game, but I've got a pun on one of our own features. It's Spelunky Tennis.
Spelunk. Spelunk. You're going to be gushing and splunking about another album next week, I'd imagine.
Splunky game that people may have played. Splunky Tennis for Monkey Tennis.
It's fine. Everyone knows, of course, about how Facebook was founded. The social network, great film. What about how our podcast was founded? The Social Big Heads Podcast Network, which is the podcast network that we're currently with. Check them out. BigHeadsMedia.com.
Social media.
Big Heads Podcast Network.
Social media is Quentin Tarantino's favourite film for the last 10 years, apparently.
That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Good old Quent.
And Big Heads Media is our favourite bloody podcast platform.
Oh, we love them. Oh, you guys, thank you for all you do.
Yeah.
Any more? For any more?
Yeah, I've got two. I've got Boom Arm with a Broom or Room with a Boom. Open
Room
bracket,
with a boom.
Open bracket arm. Close bracket.
And arms have brackets, especially boom arms. So it all ties together.
Boom arm with a broom.
Ludicrous. A couple more quick fires. Ad revenue grant.
Nice. That's good.
I'm looking forward to getting that sweet ad revenue. What was a good one? Oh, yes, my pitch for a movie that was lost last week, Broadcast Away. So Tom Hanks gets marooned on an island and sets up his own podcast to contact the outside world. But we can save you. No. You need to get to 50 episodes first. You need to get to 50.
We need 50.
In the end, he just stays on the island. He loves it.
I've got two Metallica ones.
Okay.
So that are going to hit quite close to home. So I've got Corrupted for All.
Oh.
And Master of Corruptits.
Master of
Corruptits.
Fine. That's essentially what happened. Two tits, their file got corrupted.
Yeah. Talking of tits, Lars Ulrich. I watched that. Some kind of monster.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good. Liked it.
So good. Very. Wait, I know that in the years after they've said that why did we let them in with so much access, and so true, because it's literally
doesn't look good, does it?
Arguments and the camera's there and it's so awkward and horrible, and all this pent up aggression, and probably from the fact that we lost our episode of our podcast, I imagine.
I think that was about that. Yeah, there's a great documentary kind of film called Mission to Lars about a guy with special needs whose dream it is to meet Lars Ulrich, and he ends up on stage with the Metallica and things.
Okay.
Really, really cute, really funny, really sweet, very touching documentary. Mission to Lars, it's called.
Was he disabled because he likes Lars Ulrich? Because I imagine
I think in a way,
you would need.
In a way, we all are from hearing Lars Ulrich playing live.
You would need some sort of mental disability to enjoy his drumming.
Yes. Probably have to cut that out as well. Sorry, guys, about that. Everything we say is said under the guise of satire and irony. We are playing characters on the podcast, exaggerated versions of ourselves, Jack and Kenny. Everything we say is said in jest. We love you all, especially you, Linda McCartney. Love your sausages.
Oh my God, so much.
Couple more. Ray the Otter instead of Ray Liotta, the actor. I don't know. Everybody knows Drive, but have you seen Hard Drive, the sequel? Oh, there's corruption. He's going to save it. Hard Drive.
I've got one more that I quite like. Maybe have you got one more that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah.
Okay, so my last one is the Russell Crowe lotion experience.
Brilliant.
Russell Crowe, Joe Rogan, Russell Crowe lotion experience.
Lotion. That's something you use Russell Crowe lotion in the shower, sir.
I thought when I thought of that last night, I thought, oh, that's bloody good, isn't it? And then I thought, do you know what? That's more of a monkey tennis than it is a pun association.
Well, there's your mission. Next time, write a monkey tennis on that.
I think you might be able to guess what it is.
Yeah, I got a good idea. It's one of my fantasies. Just Joe Rogan and Russell Crowe gently lotion up with some lovely cream.
It could be Russell Crowe lotioning up Joe's bald head.
Oh, that'd be a bit of imperial leather. Imperial leather. Assassin's Creed Imperial Leather. What shall I do? XLR-EM, quite like that one.
That's good.
XLR-EM, XLR, the mic cables that we use. And we'll finish with probably my personal favourite. Who hosts our feed? It's an RSS feed.
RSS feed. Yeah.
So the Titanic was the RMS Titanic. It becomes the RSS Titanic because, of course, we know that this podcast is a sinking ship. You can follow us on Twitter at Roll Up Pod and on Facebook and Instagram at Rock and Roll Up Podcast. Thank you so much. As of today, we have passed 1,000 followers on Instagram. Thank you. We love you all. We've had some fantastic reviews coming in. We've befriended a lot of members of the Podden family and climbing the hill to 2,000. Come over, Rock and Roll Up Podcast. Join the fun. Climbing the hill to 2,000 on Twitter as well.
Yeah, we are about 180 off or so. One thing that I do like is I've seen our iTunes reviews, and a lot of them mention our British accents.
At least 5 go, oh, those guys and their accents.
Bloody British guys.
Yeah, a couple of 5-star rated accents in the US over here. Anyone in the UK, a couple more UK reviews means we'll be officially rated 5 stars in the UK. So please, if you haven't reviewed us, or even just click the stars, it really helps with algorithms and things like that.
Yes, you can listen to this podcast as an audio version on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on SoundCloud, the Big Heads Media website, and you can find the visual version of this podcast on YouTube.
YouTube for now, and maybe one day we'll have a professional camera that records all of the visuals in person when I actually get to see Kenny again in human form.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
It's going to happen, baby.
Stay away from me.
2 meters apart forever. Let's go. Isolation episode 4, Odds and Sods. Capiche. Any final words from Rex the dinosaur? He's simply the guest.
Don't hit him in the face. Come on.
Don't do that. That is, especially not this week. Can't be doing that.
Love you, Rex.
Little kiss, little smell. Ooh, what's that?
Well, I've just finished off. Just finishing with the... So, after glucose syrup, you've got beef gelatin,